Thank you. Let's raise that then with Andrew Pearce, columnist and consultant editor for the Daily Mail. And this is actually quite an old story, isn't it? It was in the Telegraph, I think, 3 years ago.
I'll tell you why we raised this story, and it's a legitimate.
And why now?
Yeah, and why now? And it's a legitimate journalistic investigation for any newspaper outlet, BBC or the Daily Mail. It's because the police returned to the activities of the paedophile information exchange after the revelation of the activities of Jimmy Savile, the paedophile activities of Jimmy Savile. One of the politicians who made the loudest noise about that and demanded openness and transparency from the BBC and accused the BBC of not doing so was one Harriet Harman, the Shadow Culture Secretary. In her role as Shadow Culture Secretary, she has not applied that same high quality of standard to her own work at the National Council of Civil Liberties. Let me just say why we thought it was legitimate to raise these questions. It is not a smear to constantly ask the same question. It is the job of newspapers to ask difficult and sometimes controversial questions. Harriet Harman is the deputy leader of the Labour Party. She will be deputy prime minister of Labour when the general election. She was on a body that affiliated with an organisation that is frankly grotesque and disgusting. And despite what she said today, that organisation remained affiliated to the National Council for Civil Liberties for many years. In fact, it was only kicked out a year after Harriet stood down from the NCCL.
Are you suggesting that she and the others you've named, Jack Dromey and Patricia Hewitt, then promoted?
No, what I'm saying is this.
So what was their offence?
What their offence was not to publicly disassociate from this organisation, not to demand...
Why does that matter so long afterwards?
It matters enormously that they did not do more to get rid of this horrible, disgusting organisation. And see what Shami Chakrabarti had to say about it. She's now the Director of Liberty, which is the successor organisation to the National Council of Civil Liberties. She's apologised for this unregrettable episode in the history of the NCCL, and she talked about it being disgusting and shocking. She's been very emphatic about it. It's a shame that Harriet Harman, who's a very respected politician, can't just admit, you know what, back then, we got it wrong.
Just on that question, what she has said today, and in fact she's tweeted in the course of the morning, a story from Daily Mail Online back in 2011 showing 3 girls said to be 12 years of age posing in bikinis. And she said, when it comes to decency and sexualisation of children, would you take lessons from the Daily Mail? I mean, what she's saying, you know, it's all very well to kind of take the moral high ground on this, but your journalism is not consistent on the treatment of young children and the sexualisation of their images.
The Daily Mail is a family newspaper. No pictures that appear in the Mail or on Mail Online are images that you would not see on any British beach on any day, not regarding the terrible winter we're having at the moment. And to try and conflate those pictures of girls on a bikini on a beach with the grotesque activities of the paedophile information exchange.
She isn't doing that, is she?
Yes,
she's
she
just
is.
saying you have to get your own house.
No, yeah, I think she is. I think she's deliberately conflating the two issues, and they do not bear scrutiny at all. The fact is, Harriet Harman, her husband, and Patricia Hewitt, who was another cabinet minister, were senior members of an organisation that was happy to take money and to be affiliated with a grotesque paedophile organisation that at times...
It wasn't affiliated to PI, was it? PI was affiliated
PI was affiliated to the National
clear.
Council for Civil Liberties, which was at times calling for an age of consent for children
Is this going to be on your front page tomorrow?
I've no idea. I'm not the editor of the Daily Mail. But we are delighted that Harriet has finally expressed some regret. We wish she could just go a little further and say she's sorry.
Andrew Pearce of the Daily Mail.